Hey YouTube, Outdoorsman here. Today I'm going to be taking you through the headlight bulb replacement on this 2014 Kia Sportage. The process is the same for other Kia SUVs as well as for the Hyundai SUVs. This is a job that's really quick, can be done really easily, so hopefully this video will save you some money and a little bit of time. The parts you're going to need for this job are relatively simple. You're going to need your new headlight bulb. In this case I bought a certified bulb from Canadian Tire. The second thing you might need is your owner's manual if you need to know the type of bulb that you need to buy. If you don't know that, just go down to your local parts supply store, give them the year, make and model of your car, and they'll be able to help you out. The third is a pair of rubber or latex gloves. The reason you want to use rubber or latex gloves is that the oils in your hands can actually damage the light bulb when it gets put in. So to keep it working nicely, it's best that you wear a pair of gloves. And a disposable pair of gloves like that won't have the same potential for dirt and debris that you might have in other work gloves. We're going to open up the driver's door and go down towards our hood release here. Once we've pulled that, you can move back around to the front and unlatch your hood. Once you've got the hood up, you can move on to removing the backing portion of your light. Now the backing portions of the lights are located here and here. So there's two different lights in here. So you need to determine which one you need to replace by turning your low beams and high beams on and see which one's not working. Now in this case we need to replace the main headlight bulb, not the high beam. So we're going to be removing this rear cap. So you're just going to turn it ever so slightly counterclockwise and that cap is going to pop off like that. You want to try to keep this gasket seal, this rubber seal on the outside of this cap nice and clean, as it's keeping all the debris out of your light. Once you've got that cap off, you can see the light bulb. The next thing you're going to do is grab onto the light bulb and turn counterclockwise, and you have to turn about 90 degrees. Once you turn 90 degrees, you'll feel the bulb become loose, and you can pull it out just like that. In the event that you need to replace your high beam bulb, the process is slightly different, so I figured I'd just document it quickly since we're already here. So once again, you're going to start by removing that cap with a slight turn counterclockwise. And inside you can see your light bulb. Now in this instance, we have to remove the wiring harness from the back of the bulb. That's not something you have to do with the main light over here. It's only with the high beam. So in this case, we're going to be popping that harness off before we remove the metal clip that goes over top of the bulb. So we're going to grab onto the side here, closest to your passenger side wheel, as this is the passenger side. And we're just going to pry that little metal tab out from the retaining clip, like this. And then once that's out of the way, you're going to be able to pull the bulb free, like that. Now you're going to notice there's a difference. This is the main beam, and this is your high beam light. So depending on which job you're doing, you'll need to buy the appropriate light. The reinstallation of your new light is just as easy. You're going to see on the back of this high beam headlight there's a small metal tab, and inside of the housing here that small metal tab is facing to the floor, to the ground. So when you put your new headlight in, you're just going to make sure that little metal tab is facing downwards. Once it is, you can close the retention clip, which will get caught in that little latch there. And then you can take your headlight harness and plug that back in like so. Once you've done that, you can take your protective cover, place it back on, turn it clockwise about a quarter turn, and then it's nice and tight. The installation of this new bulb is even easier, as the wiring harness doesn't have to be clicked on to these two little metal tabs. The wiring harness is actually built right into the housing, and once the bulb is inserted like this, we're going to turn it clockwise like so, and then these two tabs are actually going to click into the wiring harness. So once we've got it in place, we're going to turn it clockwise, and as you can see, the top of that bulb is going to make contact with the wiring harness right there. Once we've got our bulb back installed, we're going to make sure the outside of this cap is nice and clean. We're going to place it back over the top and give it a quarter turn clockwise, and that'll complete your job. And there you have it, a new working headlight. Hope this video helped you out, maybe saved you some money. If it did, please give it a like and remember to subscribe.